Good Jack.
We won.
We won. Case dismissed.
Case dismissed, bro.
2.5 years. Case dismissed?
Case dismissed. It's gone.
So everything that happened to us was for absolutely no reason. They couldn't even make a case to the judges that needs a trial.
They don't even have enough evidence to take it to trial. It was all made up in the first place. It was all a fugazi. Case dismissed. I was looking forward to 10 years of you and the whole friend.
You know, I would have gladly done 10 years for you. And if they said, if you rat on your brother, then you get half sentence. If you rat on your brother, you go free. If you make some false confession and implicate your brother, you don't get any jail time and we'll give you $10 billion. I would have told him to suck my dick and I would have met you in jail. You know it. I know it. Case dismissed. Woo! Wow.
That was Andrew and Tristan Tate celebrating the news that their case has been dismissed. The news that they made up. In this video, I'm going to cover what the Tates are telling you has happened and what has actually taken place in court. Let's start with this video Andrew posted with the caption, "Case dismissed."
Good morning. Bust case. Remember everyone has said he's a human trafficker, I just bust my case. So it turns out that I was telling the truth all along. The highest court in Romania, the appeal court, has just ruled that the evidence collected against me is illegal.
Oops, that was actually last month's case dismissed video. That's right, a month ago, the Tates declared to all of their fans that the case had been dismissed. Along with that video, it was accompanied by an emergency meeting stream with the title, "Case Dismissed." All of the Tates' PR goons on Twitter were involved in a massive propaganda campaign, some, if not all of these accounts, being on the Tates' payroll. Okay, let's have a look at this month's Case Dismissed video from Andrew and discuss.
Case dismissed. Even better than a not guilty verdict, a judge has decided there's not enough evidence to even send this to trial. There's no evidence of crimes. None of this makes sense. They print an indictment with thousands of pieces of paper, which doesn't mean anything. It doesn't add up to a crime. They falsified evidence. The whole thing is garbage. The case is now officially dismissed.
I'm actually impressed. That was an unbelievable amount of lies to include in 20 seconds of video. Let me show you why all of that is untrue. Firstly, what has happened is the case has been sent back to the prosecutor. For the case to see trial, it will have to be re-indicted and go through the preliminary chamber process all over again. So we can start by saying, of course, this is a major W for the Tates. Not a case dismissed W, but this is likely to cause a significant delay, which is a win for anyone facing decades in prison. For why the case has been sent back to DCOT, we need to go back to last month, when a judge requested that DCOT amend some irregularities in the case file. Instead of fixing the irregularities, DCOT submitted explanations outlining why they disagreed that these changes were necessary. Now, what Andrew is saying and what his followers are repeating in my comments is that the judge decided there was not enough evidence to send to trial and there's no evidence of crimes.
A judge has decided there's not enough evidence to even send this to trial. There's no evidence of crimes.
To show how absolutely rubbish this is, let's look at all the irregularities which the judge outlined to the prosecutor. To save myself recording the same thing twice, I'm going to refer to my video from last month, from when the judge brought up these irregularities and Andrew declared that the case was dismissed. I'll leave a link to this video in the description for those interested. This is the Bucharest Court of Appeal portal. It is public information. Anybody can look this up. This is the ruling from yesterday's hearing. It is what the judge actually said. I'm going to keep this on the screen as I go through this post from Crayon Murders, which breaks down everything that the judge ruled in a digestible way. Firstly, there was the situation with the confiscated assets, where the judge is asking them to be outlined in more detail. This is a nothing burger that we knew would happen. 2 victims' statements that they have given to court have been excluded because they were taken too early. These 2 women will need to give their statements to the court again, but their statements to DCOT remain. Again, this is a nothing burger that we knew was coming. There is some information regarding one of the victims, which is to be added to the indictment and sent to Tate's legal team. This appears to be an easily fixable procedural error. Andrew and Tristan's statements to DCOT have been removed from the case file because at the time they were witnesses, but now that they are defendants, they have a right to remain silent, and their statements from when they were witnesses can't be used against them. Crayons sees this one as a small W for the Tates. The judge wants DCOT to adjust the description of the human trafficking offences against the Tate female accomplices, Georgiana Nagel and Luana Radu. That is it. Present day gadgets here again. Here is the ruling from that day that includes all of the concerns which the judge brought up about the case file. I challenge any of Andrew Tate's supporters to pause the video and find where the judge says there is a lack of evidence. You can't because it never happened. And in Andrew's silly little propaganda video, he was spewing on repeat that this happened because there was no evidence.
Verdict. A judge has decided there's not enough evidence to even send this to trial. There's no evidence of crimes. But if there's no evidence to take me to trial, there was never any evidence to put me in jail. There was never any evidence to raid my house 5 times. There was never any evidence to keep me travel banned for 3 years. There was never any evidence to stop me seeing my children. There was never any evidence to stop me seeing my mother when she had a heart attack. There was never any evidence to steal all of my cars and all of my money and all of my wealth. There was never any evidence for the media. And there was never any evidence for me to be there in the fucking first place. And there's never been any evidence in the first place, like we've been telling you for 3 solid years.
An absolute lying clown. The judge did not cite the amount of evidence or lack thereof as a reasoning for his decision. Let's cut the bullshit for a minute and talk about what we can expect to happen from here. As I mentioned, the first case against the Tate brothers in Romania has been sent back to the prosecutors to the investigation stage and will need to be re-indicted to make it to trial. While this may be significant in delaying the case, this is why I don't think anyone should be alarmed. For those that aren't aware, there are 2 separate cases ongoing in Romania against the Tate brothers and their accomplices. The first being the case that we saw them arrested and incarcerated for in December 2022, which involved various alleged crimes including the trafficking and rape of 7 women. The second case was the one we saw the brothers arrested for in August. We don't have a final number of victims involved in this case yet because it's yet to be indicted, but we know it potentially involves dozens of victims, including at least 2 minors and some Ukrainian refugees. I'm going to refer to this post from Crayon Murders a month ago. As Crayons outlines in this post, sources have told us for some time that it is likely that the first and second case in Romania will be combined into one huge case, which would require a new indictment and render the original indictment in the first case pointless. Given we've known this was on the cards for a while, and this is just speculation, but if we think about the reasoning why DCOT didn't even attempt to amend the irregularities in the indictment of the first case. If, as we expected, DCOT were intending on combining the first and second cases in Romania into a new indictment, why would they put the resources into making the amendments the judge requested for the indictment of the first case, when they could simply make these adjustments in the new combined indictment? To me, this just seems like a logistical decision. If they are in fact planning to combine the first and second case, you would hope they were putting all of their resources into preparing this. Of course, it should come as no surprise that the Tates have a very different story to tell. In their emergency meeting stream after this ruling by the court, they were absurdly telling their audience that it was merely a matter of them filling out some paperwork before the first and second case are dismissed and they are free men.
And although the battle is not 100% complete, we have some paperwork to finish, some I's to dot and some T's to cross. The fact that the first file's been dismissed, all the other garbage files they launched around this file, just trying to muddy the waters, will ensure that it'll take a few weeks, few months, whatever, a couple months to get free. The first file's dismissed. We have a second file to beat. And there's some offshoot garbage from this first file, but the mothership has been destroyed, and from here it's simply a matter of admin until we're released.
Just ridiculous stuff. But they know these lies will keep kids paying them $50 a month and buying crypto, which they can then rug pull. There was a few more lies in Andrew's ridiculous Twitter video that need to be addressed.
Children. There was never any evidence to stop me seeing my mother when she had a heart attack, to bother my mother after she had an operation, trying to make her cry, to make my children sad, to make the women around me.
This is Andrew, for some reason, bringing attention to the fact that they lied about their mother having a heart attack to try and get permission to leave Romania. I'll refer to this post from Crayons in January, which directly quotes the judge's ruling, which shows that according to the documents submitted, their mother called an ambulance, received an EKG and a cardiac checkup, and was immediately discharged. Yet they got all of their minions on social media to post that their mother had had a heart attack and it was so unfair that they weren't allowed to visit her. Hilariously, the judge referred to when they tried this trick with their grandmother and lied that she had a heart attack, getting their fans to post all over social media about it. I actually broke the story about the grandmother propaganda run because one of my sources from inside the real world at the time sent me this post from Luke telling all of their affiliates to post videos saying that the Tate's grandmother is sick, that she wants to see Andrew and Tristan before she dies, and demanding the US Embassy to let them travel. Nothing came of it because no medical evidence to support this could be provided to the court. I'm glad Andrew brought this up so I could reminisce about this ridiculous saga. Now I have to, once again, cover one of Andrew's reoccurring lies.
Because it would be very easy for me now that the first case has been thrown out. The second case will follow quickly. Within a few weeks, we'll be back on private jets, back in our Bugattis, back on yachts, living a good life. We could just ignore all this, live and let live, make it all go away. No big deal, we were found innocent.
This is Andrew referring to the idea of his world tour when he becomes free, flying on private jets, doing a stadium tour, and promoting his daddy coin and the real world token. I will cover this as many times as I need to, in case there is an Andrew Tate fan clicking on one of my videos for the first time who needs to hear this. Their world tour is a fraudulent lie and scam. Now, the case in Romania isn't dismissed, but if it hypothetically was, both Andrew and Tristan would immediately be arrested, thrown in a plane, and transported to the UK to face more charges of human trafficking and rape, because extradition to the UK for the brothers was granted back in March following all of the Romanian legal proceedings. If you've purchased any daddy coin based on the promise that they will soon be going on a world tour to promote the coin, you have been scammed. That about covers it for this video, and in my next video, I'll be going over the ruling of the UK tax evasion case against the Tates. There's some interesting aspects of it to cover, and I would have made that video earlier, but of course, I had to cover this situation and address all the lies. But lastly, there's one more thing that kept coming up during their emergency meeting, which I have to address.
I am here because today, of the thousands of viewers joining us around the world, I just know, I have a feeling deep in my soul that we have a few special viewers, Andrew.
Interesting.
And they're nervous. And I would like to reassure these people, I'm here for one reason and one reason only on today's emergency meeting, to let you know that you don't have to worry about a thing. But you are going to jail. You are going to jail. And for those of you watching, my special viewers who are not going to jail, I'm going to financially bankrupt you. You know that house your mother owns, your father, your uncle, where you live, your business? I'm going to take everything you have. And some of you are in fact going to jail. I just want to remind a few special viewers who I know are watching tonight that you are going to jail, or losing your job, or losing your business and or house. Also, however, I want to thank our massive haters who consistently keep this case in the forefront of the mainstream news. The people who, no matter what happens, will tweet and post and write horrible things about us.
There are some people who are watching this stream who are going to go to jail.
Oh, you're going to jail.
And they're not ready for jail.
And you're losing all of your assets and your name. You're going to get wrecked.
You know,
It is pretty clear that I am one of the people they are referring to when they talk about the quote-unquote haters who tweet and post about them. So Andrew, Tristan, let me address you directly. You are both self-confessed, filthy, degenerate sex traffickers. You are both self-confessed, disgusting predators of underage girls. You are both disgraceful scammers who repeatedly scam your audience, which can be easily proven. The facts are on my side. There is nothing you can say or do to stop me reporting the truth about you, to stop me embarrassing you when you tell ridiculous lies to your audience, or to stop me shining a light on when you blatantly scam the young kids who look up to you. What do you think the prospect of Joe McBride shitting out a frivolous defamation lawsuit is going to deter me? I couldn't give a fuck. The fact that so many people think you are sex traffickers, pedophiles, and scammers is entirely your fault. You've made your bed, now you can lie in it. You absolute morons.